Kind of very special management, India Cements. You rarely get to see them on TV. Mr. N Srinivasan, Vice Chairman and MD at India Cements, is now with us. Sir, firstly, thank you so much for taking out time for us. It's really been long that we spoke to you, but this budget was different. Overall, a strong importance was given to the reality space, especially affordable housing, with special focus. How would you look at the budget or rate this budget?
Yeah, I think it's a great budget. For the first time, we have thrown out that obsession with that fiscal deficit. We have looked at India. We looked at growth in India. We looked at how to recover from the pandemic. And I think a lot of other very important decisions have been made and communicated. I like the extent to which they are going to incur capital expenditure, how they are going to make the railways spend more money, give money for affordable housing. See, all this is growth-oriented and multiplier-oriented. All this will lead to a lot more jobs in the country. And I think the idea of starting a development financial institution is very good. I think the country needed it. So I think if one were to look at this budget, there is nothing that I can find wrong with the budget. I think there are so many things that have been announced, so many areas in which there is not a single area that has not been addressed by the finance minister. Every area that needs to has been addressed. I think it is going to be a Herculean task to implement all this. I'm not worried that they will, I think they will, the finance minister has indicated how they will raise the resources for this. So I think all in all, if I were to sum up, I will say it's a great budget. Coming to the sectors that we are involved with, that is infrastructure. There has been a lot of boost for infrastructure. For the first time, you see, we formed a South India Cement Manufacturers Association. We petitioned the government. We said that infrastructure should come down. I think government somewhere has heard us. Now we have announcement of infrastructure investment in the south of the Vindhyas, which is a very marked change, a very positive change. And with the amount of investment that is going into metros, etc., I think overall the outlook for cement will be very good shortly. And this is what has happened is a directional change has taken place in this country. The directional change is what is going to propel all the manufacturing sector, in particular the cement industry. And a lot of emphasis has been made on health sector and various other sectors. They have cut subsidies. So I think the government has indicated that it is prepared to take up the challenge for growth.
Sir, just to take forward from the point that you just said, the buzz and the impetus for infrastructure has been strong with big project announced. What is the kind of spending that will spur? What is the kind of activity you think you will see going on the sidelines after this?
See, I think the timeline, I think this financial year, this fiscal will be preparatory. I think everything will be put together. And from 22 onwards, you can see the spending. And the commitment is on so many projects in so many directions that I will not, I will not be surprised if cement goes to double-digit growth. I will not be surprised at all from next year onwards. This year there will, those projects in the pipeline, those need, there is going to be a lot of support for infrastructure. See, 3,500 kilometers of roads in Tamil Nadu alone. It's okay. It may take 6 months before tenders are out and actual brick and mortar is used. But you're sure it's going to happen. So as a result, of which I think the confidence of people to invest in reality and in housing sector is going to be very, very, very huge. And I therefore expect good growth next year, definitely double-digit growth in cement industry.
All right. Hi, Mr. Srinivasan. This is Mubina as well joining into the conversation. You know, cement is obviously the very foundation. It's the basic key input material for the two key sectors that the FM has focused on. One is realty, the second is infrastructure. So, you know, post-budget, and I'm sure this has, you know, pleased you quite a bit. So, post-budget, at what rate do you expect cement demand to grow, say, over the next 4 to 5 years?
We've had a historic budget which has planned so much of investment in so many different sectors, and all investments in every sector will ultimately result in, there'll be a multiplier effect, it will result in cement demand. So next year, I mean, this year, I will see, last year was a pandemic year. So this year already there are signs of recovery. There's going forward, this fiscal will be better, much better than the last year, and the year after that, 22, you will see double-digit growth in cement. That there is no doubt about it.
All right. Are we completely over the lockdown worries, according to you? You know, especially when it comes to realty projects, construction projects, infrastructure. Is the pandemic now behind us?
I think we have gone past it. See, what India did was it dealt with the pandemic in a very, I think, in a very capable fashion. Month on month, you see, when lockdown was necessary in the early part, there was a lockdown. And then there was a gradual easing. If you take our own capacity utilization, it has gone up quarter to quarter to quarter, it has gone up. And that trend continues. So I would say that the next year, when I say we will go to double-digit growth, it will be, earlier we had heydays of the cement industry when we had growth in double-digit. I think we'll go back to those days, not the last 1 or 2 years.
Some mention was made about the rising input costs, the likes of steel, cement. With this action taken, do you see majority of the inflation has been done so far, especially concerned with steel and cement?
First, we must understand that where cement is concerned, we use only half a bag per square foot. So if in any flat of yours, if today the price is 400 rupees, 200 alone is the contribution of cement. So even if I increase the price of cement by 100 rupees, the construction cost will only go up by 50 rupees, which is nothing compared to the 5,000, 10,000 rupees at which per square foot selling price of built up material, built up flats. So I think cement constitutes not even 1% of the cost of construction, which should be understood. So therefore, in that context, if at all what can go up, there can be an increase in price of input fuel. Very little, it will not affect. Some companies may pass on the burden, some may absorb it also. But even if they do pass on the burden, it is not going to make much impact on the cost of construction. So therefore, I don't see any reason to frown.
So inflation worries, real estate demand, is there enough step taken in the budget for real?
Actually, it is the demand that we should look at. I think the steps taken by the government will spur demand, and that will improve the real estate sector, the realty sector. Today, if you want to know, Bombay is flying. I mean, the whole of Maharashtra, demand is flying, which is what you are referring to also. I think the realty sector suffered because there was a lack of demand. That will go. The demand will return, which will enable them to progress much faster.
All right. And Mr. Srinivasan, as we are asking all of our guests, I'd request you to, rate the budget on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
9 out of 10.
Okay, all right. Well, on that note, Mr. Srinivasan, we're out of time. So we let you go. Once again, many thanks for joining us and giving us your time today on ET Now to not just talk about the budget, but the industry and your company as well.